Okay, guys, we're back again with Trek Week. This is probably the most amazing film that everyone, if you're a fan of Star Trek, if you're not, if you're a fan of science fiction in all general, this is probably a movie you have to see. This is probably a scene you know and love. This is Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. This is considered the best science fiction movie and the best Star Trek movie in the series by many fans, and I post myself, who believes that this is one of the best films that they ever made. As you know, this is Chekhov on the front of the cover, and Chekhov is a major plot key in this film. But let's just talk about the interaction with the original series. This was based off of episode 17, Space Seed. And Space Seed was the original episode in which Khan, of course, I don't know who Khan is, that's Ricardo Montalban who played Khan. Ricardo Montalban played Khan in Space Seed as this superhuman strength and ultimately the three-dimensionally intelligent Khan, which we all love to hate. This is one of the best movies that we've ever given because it was directed by Nicholas Myers, and Nicholas Meyer gave us a lot of the original movies from 1950s and on. So, one of my point is Day of the Earth Stood Still. This is considered by some to be the best. I consider it to be the best. Now, we all know the plot. If you don't know the plot is Khan, if you remember the episode Space Seed, if you're a beginning Trekkie, Space Seed is one of the episodes you'll see early on in Season 1. Now, this episode considers Khan is on the USS Botany Bay, and which is an abandoned genetic research ship, and the cargo ship actually that holds these genetically engineered mutants. And these mutants, however, are superiorly intelligent, but Khan has one major flaw. He falls in love with one of the engineers and begins to try to challenge Captain Kirk. Well, Kirk sends him to the planet called Ceti Alpha 5. So, if you know the plot for this movie, you would know that Ceti Alpha 5 exploded. Spoiler alert, but this is by far the best Star Trek film ever made. Its style, its quality, its dialogue is just top notch, and it's just amazing. The interaction between Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner is just purely amazing. It's phenomenal. One major key, though, if you didn't know, in this film, there's a spoiler coming up. If you don't know what happens in this film, turn off this video immediately. But if you do know, and you're just bracing your childhood memories or your adult memories, so we do know that Spock dies in this film. As you know, the big Vulcan right here gets killed. He goes into the warp capacitor and tries to fix it. He dies, unfortunately, but nonetheless, he does come back in the future sequel. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? I really think that this movie has a potential to be something more than just Star Trek II. This movie had more potential, and it exceeded that potential. This movie is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It's one of my top 10 favorite. I will be doing a list of that in a few days. My top 10 favorite films. So definitely check this out. It is one of the best movies in the Star Trek series. One of the best movies ever made in the science fiction genre. Trek trivia revolving around this. This is also one of Ricardo Montalban's favorite projects he's ever did. And to prepare for this, he had watched all his previous, I would say, roles that he did, and he also watched Space Seed close to 20 times a day to get ready for his role. So, if you haven't seen this movie, I recommend it. It's on the top list. And if you haven't, then go out there and see it. It's one of the best movies ever made. This is Mark signing off, and we'll be doing the next few reviews in the next few days. And we'll come back to Star Trek III: The Wrath of Khan.